Dear students, in this video, I will discuss questions of chemistry in NEET 2020 question paper. In NEET 2020 question paper, we have 180 questions. Out of 180 questions, we have 45 questions from chemistry. Let us take the first question. Identify a molecule which does not exist. See, according to molecular orbital theory, if you take molecular orbital theory, the bond order means the number of bonds between two atoms is equal to 0, the molecule is highly unstable. And the molecule does not exist. If you calculate bond order of these molecules, helium-2, the bond order is 0. For lithium-2, the bond order is 1. For C2, the bond order is 2. And for O2, the bond order is again 2. So, according to molecular orbital theory, the helium-2 molecule is highly unstable and it does not exist. So, the answer is 1. If you take any inert gas element, suppose if you take He2, Na2, Ar2, Kr2 and Xenon. Okay, if you take diatomic molecules of any inert gas element, helium-2, neon-2, argon-2, krypton-2 and xenon-2, for all these, the bond order is 0. So these molecules are highly unstable. These molecules do not exist. Okay, the second question, that is 92 question. Find out the solubility of NaOH twice in 0.1 molar NaOH. Given that the ionic product of NaOH twice is 2 into 10 to the power of minus 15. Okay, ionic product is given. You have to, the IP is given. It is given. You have to calculate what is the solubility. Okay, solubility of NaOH twice you have to calculate. For this, what is the ionic product? Okay, ionic product simply for this NaOH twice, what is the ionic product? Na2 plus concentration into OH minus concentration square is equal to, what is the value? 2 into 10 to the power of minus 15. Okay, this is given. Okay, you have to calculate solubility of NaOH twice. Let us take a solubility of NaOH twice as S. Then what is the concentration of Na2 plus? Okay, obviously this one is equal to solubility of NaOH twice. Okay, this is the concentration which comes from Na2 plus concentration which comes from NaOH twice. Suppose if we take OH minus concentration, what is OH minus concentration? Suppose if the solubility is S, the concentration of OH minus will be 2S, because here there is a OH twice, so there is a 2S. And also there is a possibility of coming of OH minus ions from 0.1 molar NaOH. So finally, what is the concentration of OH minus? The OH minus can be obtained from NaOH twice and also from OH minus. From NaOH twice, what is the concentration? 2S is the concentration. From NaOH, what is the concentration? This one is 0.1 molar. Okay, if you take the product, ionic product, this one is very, very less. Means if you take NaOH twice, the solubility is very, very less. So when compared with 0.1 value, the 2S value is very, very less. So you can neglect this term. So finally, what is the concentration of OH minus? The concentration of OH minus will be equal to 0.1. So in place of nickel 2 plus concentration, you can write S, and in place of OH minus concentration, you can write 0.1 square is equal to 2 into 10 to the power of minus 15. Then S is equal to 2 into 10 to the power of minus 15 divided by, this one is 0.1 means you can write 1 by 10. Okay, this one is 1 by 10 whole square. So finally, what is the S value? S is equal to 2 into 10 to the power of minus 15. Okay, this one is 10 square into 10 square. So finally, you will get 2 into 10 to the power of minus 13 molarity. So what is the constant? What is the solubility of NaOH twice? The solubility is 2 into 10 to the power of minus 30 molarity. So for this, what is the answer? First one is the answer. Identify the correct statement from the following. The first statement is CO2 is used as refrigerant for ice cream and frozen food. Okay, generally we think that CO2 carbon dioxide is used as a refrigerant for the preparation of ice creams and frozen food, but it is not true. When you use CO2, the food or ice cream will become sour in taste, sour taste. So instead of CO2, the refrigerant gas which is used for the preparation of ice cream and frozen food is nitrogen. Okay, nitrogen is a gas which is used in used as refrigerant for ice cream and frozen food. The structure of C60 contains 12 6 carbon rings and 25 carbon rings. We know that if you take C60, it has 6 member rings, pentagons, it has pentagon units and hexagon units. Here there are 12 pentagon units and 20 hexagon units. Here how many is given? 12 6 carbon rings and 25 carbon rings. Okay. Actually 26 carbon rings and 12 5 carbon rings will be there in C60 Buckminster fullerene, that is. So this one is wrong and this one also wrong. ZSM5, a type of zeolite, this one is correct, is used to convert alcohols into gasoline. Okay, this is directly from NCERT. ZSM5, okay, it is a heterogeneous catalyst which is used in cracking of petroleum products and also conversion of alcohols into gasoline. This one is correct. And if you take carbon monoxide is colorless, this one is true, and also odorless gas. It's a poisonous gas, but it is colorless and odorless gas. So both the C and D are correct. So which one is the correct option? The correct option is fourth one. So for 93, what is the option? Fourth one is the correct option. Here hydrolysis of sucrose is given by the following reaction. Sucrose plus H2O gives rise to glucose plus fructose. Hydrolysis reaction is given. If the equilibrium constant Kc is 2 into 10 to the power of 13 at 300 Kelvin, the value of delta G naught at the same temperature will be. We know that delta G naught reaction is equal to minus RT ln Kc. Okay, if the base is E, this is the equation. If the base is 10, the equation will be minus 2.303 RT log base 10 Kc. Here in options you can find ln. ln means what is the base? The base is E. In all these cases, the base is E. So there is no need of writing 2.303. So here you have to substitute R value and the temperature value and Kc value. Just what is the R value in joules and mole inverse? What is the R value? 8.314. This one is 8.314. This minus. And what is the temperature? 300 Kelvin is the temperature. And ln, what is the Kc value? 2 into 10 to the power of 13. So which one is the correct option? The correct option is this one, minus 8.314 joule mole inverse Kelvin inverse into 300 Kelvin ln 2 into 10 to the power of 13. So the correct option is first one. Identify the compound X in the following sequence of reactions. Okay, this one is the first reaction is free radical substitution reaction. Say free radical substitution reaction. Okay, the product which is obtained X, later it was hydrolyzed. So there is a formation of aldehyde, benzaldehyde. So what is the X? You have to find out X. So if you take toluene, when you react with Cl2 in presence of HNO, in this case there is no formation of benzyl chloride. Okay, not benzyl chloride, this is the phenyl chloride. So this is not possible. Suppose if you take this one, okay, after monochlorination there is a possibility of formation of benzyl chloride, CH2Cl, and there is a dichlorination, CHCl2, trichlorination, there is a possibility of trichlorination. Means you can substitute chlorine in place of hydrogen. Okay, you can replace one hydrogen, two hydrogens, and three hydrogens. Then upon hydrolysis, what is the product? If you take this one, upon hydrolysis, what is the product you will get? Okay, here there is a nucleophilic substitution reaction. SN1 type of nucleophilic substitution reaction you can observe. So in this case, what is the product? We will get CH2OH. This is the product you will get. Suppose if you take this one, upon hydrolysis you will get there is a replacement of two chlorines by two OH groups, OH and this one is OH. So here when two OH groups are attached with same carbon, there is a removal of water molecule from this. So finally you will get benzaldehyde. This is the benzaldehyde. Sorry, benzaldehyde you will get. So this one is correct. What is X? X is CHCl2. Suppose if you take this one, what is the product you will get? Okay, in place of three chlorines, you will get three hydroxy groups. So OH, OH, OH. Here also there is a removal of water molecule. So finally you will get benzoic acid. If you take dichloro product, you will get benzaldehyde. If you take trichloro product, you will get benzoic acid. So what is the option here? Third one is the correct option. Identify the incorrect match. Okay, here IUPAC name of these elements are given: un, nil, un, yam. Okay, un means 1, nil means 0, this one is 1 at 1. What is this one? Atomic number. What is atomic number? 1, 0, trium 3, 1, 0, Hex means 6. Hexium 106. 111. Okay, you have to identify what is a 101, 103, 106, 111 atomic number containing elements. Okay, if you take 101 Mendelevium, this one is correct. 101 is Mendelevium, and 103 is Lawrencium, this one also correct, and 106 is Seaborgium, this one also correct, and 111, actually 111 is Rantigenium, RG, not Dermestadium. Okay, this one is 110. So which one is incorrectly matched? Okay, D is incorrectly matched. Question number 97. An element has a body-centered cubic structure with a cell edge of 288 picometer. The atomic radius is. Okay, you have to relate edge length, that is A, and atomic radius, that is R. Okay, what is the relation between atomic radius and edge length? Suppose if you take a simple cubic, body-centered cubic, and face-centered cubic, you can easily remember these relations by a simple trick. Okay, you can write on left side 4R, 4R, and 4R is equal to, you can write on right side 4A, 3A, and 2A, and take the root 4, root 3, and the root 2. So finally you will get 4R is equal to 2A, and this one is root 3A, and this one is root 2A. So if you take BCC, what is the relation between R and A? So R is equal to root 3 by 4A. So from this you can say here R is equal to root 3 by 4A. What is A value? 288 picometer. So this is the A. So first one is correct. First one is correct. Second one, root 2 by 4A. This is for FCC. Okay, this is not one, this is not one. Okay, this one is correct. For BCC, this one is correct. Which of the following set of molecules will have zero dipole moment? Okay, ammonia. We know that ammonia, what is a NH3? Okay, pyramidal shape, and this is the direction of dipole moment. Here, mu naught is equal to 0. And beryllium difluoride, when mu naught is equal to 0, means you can eliminate this option. Directly you can eliminate. Okay, boron trifluoride. Okay, this one is, okay, each bond has dipole moment, but if you take the net dipole moment, mu is equal to 0. It's a trigonal planar. In this molecule, mu is equal to 0. Hydrogen fluoride, mu naught is equal to 0. In this direction, there is a dipole moment. So mu naught is equal to 0. So you can eliminate this one. Nitrogen trifluoride. Okay, if you take this one, so lone pair electrons in this direction, dipole moment. From bond, NF bonds you have in this direction. Finally, there is a net dipole moment in this direction. So this one is polar, mu naught is equal to 0. So you can eliminate this one also. If you take fourth one, boron trifluoride. Okay, boron trifluoride, it's a planar molecule, angle is 120, and the total sum of bond dipole moments mu is equal to 0. And beryllium difluoride, it's a linear molecule. This is the dipole moment direction, this is the dipole moment direction. Here there is a cancellation of each bond moments. So mu is equal to 0. And carbon dioxide, it is also linear molecule, C double bond O. This is in this direction, this is in this direction, mu is equal to 0. And 1,4-dichlorobenzene, this is the 1,4-dichlorobenzene. Here also you have bond dipole moments. This is a H bond dipole moment, but exactly opposite and equal. So in this case also mu is equal to 0. In all these cases, mu is equal to 0. So what is the correct option? For 98, fourth one is the correct option. On electrolysis of dilute sulfuric acid using platinum electrode, the product obtained at anode will be. What is the product at anode? So if you take dilute sulfuric acid solution, dilute H2SO4 solution, you have, what are the ions you have? H plus ion from H2SO4 and SO4 2 minus from H2SO4. Similarly, from H2O there is a H plus and OH minus. At anode, anions will be migrated. So you have to consider these two, SO4 2 minus and OH minus. Okay, which one has less deposition potential? So if you take order of discharge potential values, OH minus has less discharge potential. Okay, if you take potential discharge potential value, OH minus is less. So rate of discharge or ease of discharge, which one is more? OH minus is greater than SO4 2 minus. So in this case, which one will be deposited over anode? Okay, which ions will be migrated towards anode? OH minus ions. So if you take OH minus ions, what is the reaction? 4 OH minus gives rise to 2 H2O plus O2 and 4 electrons. This is the anodic reaction. At anode, there is a generation of oxygen. So what is the correct option? Second one is the correct option. Reaction between acetone and methyl magnesium chloride followed by hydrolysis will give. Okay, here ketone, it is a reaction between ketone and alkyl magnesium chloride, that is Grignard reagent. Okay, in this case, there is a formation of tertiary alcohol. So what is a ketone? Acetone is the ketone, C double bond O, CH3 and CH3. Here Grignard reagent, methyl magnesium bromide, CH3 magnesium chloride, CH3 MgCl. Here CH3 gets partial negative charge, magnesium gets partial positive charge. This one can act as a nucleophile and attacks on the electrophilic center, that is carbon. So finally you will get here O minus and Mg plus Cl, and here there is a CH3 and this CH3. Upon acidic hydrolysis, okay, upon treatment with the H3O plus, you will get CH3, this one is OH. It's a tertiary alcohol. It's a tertiary butyl alcohol. 4 carbons are there. It's a tertiary butyl alcohol. Which of the following oxo acid of sulfur has O linkage? Okay, simply by considering names, you can easily eliminate or you can easily predict which one is the correct option. Sulfurous acid, sulfuric acid, peroxo disulfuric acid. Peroxo bond, this is the peroxy bond. So the option will be H2S2, right? This one is pyrosulfuric acid. Let us take the structures. This is the structure, one pair electrons. This one is OH and OH. This is the double bond O. This is sulfurous acid. And sulfuric acid, if you take double bond O, This is a sulfuric acid. And peroxydisulfuric acid. This is the peroxy. There is a peroxy bond. This is a peroxydisulfuric acid. This is a peroxy bond. And pyrosulfuric acid, if you take, this is a pyrosulfuric acid. O7. There is one less number of oxygen when compared with H2S2O8. And you can find peroxy bond in these molecules also. H2SO5. Peroxy monosulfuric acid. What is the formula? S double bond O, S double bond O. This is a peroxy bond. This is a peroxy bond. So in H2S2O8 and H2SO4, you have peroxy bonds. So the correct option is 3. Which of the following amine will give carbyl amine test? Okay, carbyl amine test will be exhibited by primary amine or NH2. When you treat with chloroform, presence of base, there is a formation of isocyanate. Okay, this the smell is foul smell, very bad smell. By this you can find there is a formation of isocyanate. So you have to identify which one is primary amine. Okay, if you take nitrogen, this one is attached with one carbon, one phenyl group, so this one is primary. This one is attached with one phenyl and one methyl, means it is attached with two carbons, it's a secondary. And this one is attached with three carbons, tertiary. And this one is attached with the phenyl group and ethyl group, two carbons, so it's a secondary. Obviously, the first molecule exhibits carbylamine test. The calculated spin-only magnetic moment of Cr2 plus ion is. Okay, you have to know the electronic configuration, and also you have to identify number of unpaired electrons. What is the electronic configuration of chromium? Okay, outermost electronic configuration, if you take 3d5, 4s1, and if you take chromium 2 plus, it will be 3d4, 4s0. So 3d5, you can feel electrons 1, 2, 3, 4. So number of unpaired electrons, how many unpaired electrons are there? There are 4 unpaired electrons. Then what is the spin only magnetic moment? Mu s is equal to root over n into n plus 2. Directly you can write root over n into n plus 2 or root over 4s into s plus 1. Okay, you can take this formula. Here n is number of unpaired electrons. So 4 into 4 plus 2. So it will be root 24. This one is less than root 25. What is the value of root 25? 5. Means it is less than 5 and very close to 5. Which value is less than 5 and very close to 5? 4.90 Bohr magneton. So this is the correct option. The correct option for free expansion of an ideal gas under adiabatic conditions. Here what are the conditions? Free expansion. Free expansion means P external is equal to 0. Means work done W is equal to minus P external into delta V. So P external 0. So work done is equal to 0. Okay. Then next one, adiabatic condition, Q is equal to 0. So according to first law of thermodynamics, change in internal energy delta U is equal to Q plus W. So both are 0. 0 plus 0 is equal to 0. So change in internal energy is equal to 0. For ideal gas, when there is no change in internal energy, means T is constant. So delta T is equal to 0. When delta U is equal to 0, delta T is equal to 0 for ideal gas. So what are the options? Q is equal to 0, delta T is equal to 0, W is equal to 0. This is the correct option. First one is the correct option. The freezing point depletion constant Kf of benzene is 5.12 Kelvin Kg mole inverse. The freezing point depletion for the solution of molality 0.078 m small m containing a non-electrolyte. Okay, non-electrolyte means here there is no dissociation of substance into ions, or there is no dissociation of solute into ions in benzene. So what is the freezing point depression? Delta Tf is equal to Kf into m. This is very famous equation. So what is the Kf value? The Kf value is for benzene 5.12, and what is the molality? 0.078. So when you multiply these two, you will get 0.40 Kelvin. Okay, third one is the option. The number of Faraday required to produce 20 gram of calcium from molten CaCl2. Okay, atomic mass of calcium is given 40 gram per mole is. Okay, here if you take molten CaCl2, this one is dissociation to Ca2 plus and 2Cl minus. Here Ca2 plus at cathode, there is a deposition of Ca2 plus. This one accepts 2 electrons and form Ca. Okay, from this equation you can say 2 mole electrons. If you take 2 mole electrons, generates 1 mole calcium. Okay, for the generation of 1 mole of calcium, how many moles of electrons are required? 2 moles. What is the charge of 1 mole of electrons? Okay, 1 Faraday. So if you take 2 moles, 2 Faraday. 2 Faradays are required for 1 mole calcium generation. Okay, how many moles of calcium are generated? Here the number of moles of calcium NCA is equal to weight. Okay, 20 gram atomic weight 40. Okay, 1 by 2 mole. 1 by 2 moles. So for 1 mole 2 Faraday, 1 by 2 mole, obviously 1 Faraday. So what is the answer? 1 is the answer. Reaction between benzaldehyde and acetophenone in the presence of dilute NaOH is known as. Okay, it is a reaction between two carbonyl compounds. One is aldehyde, another one is ketone. Okay, let us take benzaldehyde. This molecule, this is the benzaldehyde. In this case, there is no alpha hydrogen. And here, benzophenone, and this is acetophenone. Okay, here you have alpha hydrogens. There is a presence of alpha hydrogen. Okay, when one of the substances has alpha hydrogen in presence of dilute NaOH, there is a formation of beta hydroxy. Okay, beta hydroxy aldehyde. In this case, there is a formation of beta hydroxy aldehyde. So this reaction can be called as cross-Aldol condensation. It's a condensation reaction between two different molecules. The condensation reaction takes place between two similar molecules, two same molecules. That can be called as Aldol condensation. But here, the condensation takes place between two different molecules, and one of the molecule has alpha hydrogen. So finally, what is the answer? Cross-Aldol condensation. Aldol condensation means the same molecule. So You have to take 2 moles of S2-phenol, then the answer will be aldol condensation. Cannizzaro reaction, no alpha hydrogen. The two molecules should not have any alpha hydrogen. In this case, one molecule has alpha hydrogen, so there is no possibility of Cannizzaro reaction and also cross Cannizzaro reaction. Here, two different molecules are participating. That's why it is not aldol condensation. It's a cross aldol condensation. What is the answer? Fourth one is the answer. Paper chromatography is an example of, okay, generally chromatography methods if you take, techniques if you take, these are classified into, okay, three types majorly. One is adsorption, and second one is partition, and third one is ion exchange. Ion exchange. Okay, in adsorption you have thin layer chromatography and column chromatography and the gas solid chromatography. If you take partition chromatography, in this case you have TLC and CEC, and you have paper chromatography and liquid solid chromatography. So if you take paper chromatography, this one comes under partition chromatography. In partition chromatography, you have thin layer chromatography and also you have column chromatography. In adsorption chromatography also you have thin layer and also you have column chromatography. So what is the answer? Paper chromatography is an example of partition chromatography. Second one is the option. An increase in the concentration of the reactants of a reaction leads to change. Suppose when you increase concentration, when you increase means the number of moles per volume increases. As the number of moles per volume increases, number density, this is a number density increases. Okay, here G, collision frequency, is directly proportional to number density, means the number of molecules per volume. We know that as the number of molecules increases, the number of collisions increases. The number of collisions per unit time increases. Hence, there is an increase in collision frequency. Activation energy, it is independent of concentration, pressure, and temperatures. Heat of reaction also, it is independent of concentration, does not depend on concentration, pressure, temperature, even catalyst. Catalyst cannot change heat of reaction. Threshold energy, it is independent of concentration, pressure, and temperature. This one also. But if you take activation energy, it depends on catalyst. In presence of catalyst, there is a change in activation energy. Threshold energy also can be changed in the presence of catalyst. Okay. So what is the answer? Collision frequency increases as the concentration increases. Which one will be changed? Collision frequency. Okay. Fourth one is the option. A mixture of N2 and argon gases in a cylinder contains 7 gram of N2 and 8 gram of argon. The total pressure of the mixture of the gases in the cylinder is 27 bar. The partial pressure of N2 is, you have to identify what is the partial pressure of N2. According to Dalton's law of partial pressures, okay, partial pressure of N2 is equal to mole fraction of N2 and the total pressure. Okay, you have to calculate the mole fraction of N2. Okay, the mixture contains N2 and argon. Then what are the number of moles of N2 and argon? Here the number of moles of N2, 7 gram of N2, 7 by 28 weight by gram molecular weight, and this one is 8 by, what is the atomic weight? 40. So it will be 1 by 4. This one is 1 by 5. Then what is the mole fraction of N2 and argon? Okay, you have to calculate mole fraction of N2. What is the mole fraction? Number of moles of N2 by total number of moles, 1 by 4 plus 1 by 5. So it will be equal to 1 by 4 divided by 20, and 5 plus 4, 9. So this one is equal to 1 by 4 and 20 by 9. So what is the fraction? 5 by 9. Mole fraction of N2 is 5 by 9. So this is 5 by 9. And what is the total pressure? 27 bars. So 9 threes, and it will be 15 bars. What is the answer? This is 15 bars. Identify the correct statement from the following. Wrought iron is impure iron with 4% carbon. Actually, this is the purest form of iron. The carbon percentage is less than some 0.07 or 0.08%. Okay, in wrought iron case, what is the percentage? This one is very, very less, 0.08%, less than 0.08%. Blister copper has blistered appearance. Okay, there is some breaks appearance due to evolution of CO2. Okay, it is not evolution of CO2, it is due to evolution of sulfur dioxide. If we take copper ores, generally these are contaminated with sulfides. These sulfides will be converted into sulfur dioxide in the process of oxidation. So the blistered nature of copper is due to not the evolution of CO2, it is due to evolution of sulfur dioxide. Okay, this one is incorrect, this one is incorrect. Vapor phase refining is carried out. Vapor phase refining is carried out by nickel by Van Arkel method. This method is wrong. Okay, generally you can purify nickel by vapor phase refining method. That method is called as, the process is called as Mons process. The Van Arkel method is not for nickel. It is for titanium and zirconium. Purification of titanium and zirconium. So this one is wrong. Pig iron can be molded into a variety of shapes. If you take pig iron, the percentage of carbon is greater than 4%, and this iron can be molded into any shape you can mold. Okay, this one is correct. Fourth one is the correct option. A tertiary butyl carbocation is more stable than a secondary butyl carbocation because of which of the following? Okay, if you take tertiary butyl carbocation, if you take, this is the carbocation, and if you take tertiary butyl, the tertiary butyl carbocation, this is the tertiary butyl carbocation, and secondary butyl carbocation, and this is the secondary butyl carbocation, CH3, and this one is C2H5, and this one is H. Okay, this one is secondary butyl carbocation. Here, tertiary butyl carbocation is more stable. What is the reason? Here, if you take tertiary butyl carbocation, it can form 9 hyperconjugation structures in this case. In this case, how many are possible? CH3, 3, and this one is CH2 and CH3. Here 2 hydrogens are there, 2. So finally, how many are possible? 5 hyperconjugation structures are possible. So What is the option? Minus I effect of CH3 group, generally plus I effect. Plus or effect of CH3 group, CH3 groups cannot exhibit resonance effect, and minus R effect, no, hyperconjugation. It is due to hyperconjugation. The tertiary butyl carbocation is more stable when compared with secondary butyl carbocation is due to hyperconjugation, or you can say plus I effect also. Due to plus I effect, more the alkyl groups, more the plus I effect, so more the stability. So what is the option? Fourth one is the option, correct option. Which of the following is a cationic detergent? Okay, here sodium lauryl sulfate. So this one is in this case you can find COS bonds. Okay, this is a formula CO. Okay, this one is a head region. This one is head region. This one is a very long chain. This is a tail region. This is the head region. Suppose if you take any detergent molecule or soap molecules, generally we have head. It is polar, and tail. This is non-polar. The polar head is negative. Then it can be called as anionic detergent. If the polar head is positive, it can be called as cationic detergent. In this case, lauryl sulfates, if you take, the head is negatively charged. And stearate, sodium stearate, it's a carboxylate. In this case also RCOO minus and Na plus. In this case also the head is negatively charged. So this one is a negative or anionic detergent. This one is anionic, it's not detergent, it's a soap. And cetyl trimethyl ammonium bromide. Okay, cetyl is a very long, large chain alkyl group. So in this case, ammonium bromide, cetyl trimethyl ammonium bromide, you can find CH3, 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 and alkyl group here, very alkyl group with the long chain. So here there is a positive charge. If you take, this is the head, at head you have positive charge. So this one is positively charged or cationic detergent. This one is positive. And sodium dodecyl benzene sulfonate. Okay, in sulfate you have COS bond. In sulfonate, okay, you have this bond, CS bond. This is a sulfonate. Okay, in case of sulfonates also, you can find a negatively charged head. So this one is anionic detergent. This one is anionic detergent, and this one quaternary ammonium salt. It's a cationic detergent. What is the answer? Third one is the answer. Cetyl trimethyl ammonium bromide is an example for cationic detergent. Okay, remaining questions will be discussed in part 2.